Welcome back to another episode of Filmaholic. This is our What If series where we take an older film, put it in modern day, we switch the director, and we recast everyone with actors from today. Sometimes this could take the film in an entirely new direction, depending on what director you pick, or it could stick to what you think the film would feel like just in a modern day, which is typically what I do. But you're free to do whatever. So the film that we're choosing to do this week is The Breakfast Club, which originally came out in 1985. It was directed by John Hughes. So this is Ethan's favorite movie here. So I'm going to let you go first.
Do you want me to do the entire cast, or are we going back and forth?
We usually do the entire cast when me and Bill has done it, but let's try it with a back and forth. I think that might be a little bit and more interesting. But go ahead and start with your director, and then I'll tell you my director.
All right. So for the director, I had two choices I went back and forth on. One was Kelly Fremont Craig, who did Edge of 17, but ultimately I didn't go with her. I went with Bo Burnham, who did 8th Grade. I like The Edge of 17 more, but I feel like 8th Grade was like really raw with those characters, super emotional. So I thought he might be a good fit to tackle each one of these different characters with all their mannerisms and dialogue.
So would you want it more raw and I guess realistic than what the original was? Because I feel like the original would be more like Edge of 17.
Yeah, I want it more I want a harder R rating than the original. Because I liked, that's why that's why it's my favorite movie. It's really, it dives into each character. You realize that you can't just label one person as something. They're more than just that. Especially with the criminal character, with some of the dialogue he says, it's man, someone who's getting pegged as someone like you wouldn't know these words or anything like this. So yeah, I would want a harder R, more realistic with the language, and stuff like that. I think he would be the one to tackle that.
Well, I mean, I definitely with my version, I want to keep it more like the original, but I do want to keep it or make it a little bit more realistic. There's a couple scenes from the original that don't hold up for me.
Yeah.
There's several, but
there's really, for me, it's just that one with Bender and Claire when he's hiding from the principal.
That one definitely doesn't hold up.
I mean, it doesn't take anything away from the movie. Just because I watched it, I say, I couldn't tell you how many times I watched it. But now, it's definitely, it's an awkward experience to watch it now. But it doesn't now it's my second favorite movie because of that scene.
Right.
But if I was remaking it, I wouldn't put that in there.
No, definitely not. I also wouldn't keep. There's one scene that always bothers me when I watch it, and it's not the same outdated type thing like that, but it's the with the jock when he's dancing and the glass breaks. Oh. I hate that scene. I don't know.
Just because the glass breaks?
Yeah, it's just totally out of place for me.
I think it's just for dramatic effect.
It just seems this was a comedy scene, slapped in this drama.
Well, I mean, it's comedic moments all through. Yeah. I mean, that whole
dance scene. But realistic, I don't know.
That glass ain't breaking, no. And I think that was just thrown in there just for dramatic effect.
Yeah.
That's how loud he screamed from the heart.
Yeah. No, that's not going to be in my version. But my director is Greta Gerwig.
Yeah.
We've seen what she can do now. The most notable that I take a look at for this, what her vibe would be Lady Bird. Lady Bird to me is a 5 out of 5 perfect film. Love the screenplay. Love her directing. Love the nostalgic way she shot the film, the way it just feels and looks. I would like to have that for this version of the Breakfast Club. And then, to further, I like Little Women a lot. I think it's really good. I don't love it. It's not on the same level as Lady Bird, but that's to me because of the story. I don't know what she could have done with that story differently to make me like it more. But the way she still handled those younger characters, I feel like she would be a perfect choice to direct the Breakfast Club.
No, I wouldn't mind her. Like especially if you're not considering this like a remake, like if it's just a movie, like a fresh idea coming out right now, like she would be a good one for like an original story like Lady Bird.
Yeah.
Cause that would be a 5-star movie for me if it wasn't for the last scene. That took me out of it a little bit. But I think I'll prefer her to keep making original stories sober adapted. So I mean, I wouldn't mind her. Like if they did want to remake it at least.
Well, let's be clear. Overall, I don't want them to remake The Breakfast Club.
Well, I'm glad we're on the same page. Because I don't know. I couldn't even see it being The Breakfast Club anymore. Like they don't have Saturday Detention. I don't know. Like you could argue that some of these stereotypes don't fit anymore, but I mean overall, I think these would be the 5. Like give or take on some of them.
They would be different. They would definitely be different.
Do you think so? Because I don't know. Like I thought about it, but then I'm looking at the type. Like I don't know if the stereotypes would be different or if you would like call some of them something else.
A little bit of both, I feel like.
Because like Basket Case, I would just call it like a loner, princess, like a prep or whatever. Athlete, jock, whatever. I don't know. I mean, like if they did remake it, like I said, which I don't want. I certainly don't think you would have these same character types. Which, if you're going to remake it, I don't want the same ones, I guess. Because I can just watch the better film.
You could you could do that. You could make a modern day version where you change the character names. You don't, you just call it The Breakfast Club and keep the spirit, but change everything else.
Yeah.
And that could be interesting. I don't think they should do it, but
no.
And if they do it, I would rather see it as a miniseries. Well, something like that, like a miniseries, like just like maybe 4 episodes. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I could get on board with that. But not that I want it, but I would be interested if it had my cast and director. Then I'd be okay with it.
Which character do you want to start with? You want to start with, well, let me just say here, I'm going to go ahead and start with these because I know you didn't even put them on your list, and that's the parents. Because in the original film, you see the parents outside picking the kids up, dropping the kids off, and they're all in a little bit. I would utilize this, and I would put in the original cast, just as cameos, little quick cameos, as the parents. And I'm not going to name who is who, but I would just have them make cameos that way by showing them as the parents.
Well, I told you got to have your director.
I'm not doing that.
That's the brains, because that's the spirit of Breakfast Club. John Hughes was Anthony Michael Hall's dad, so you got to throw that back in there. Greta Gerwig's got to be in the movie.
Do you want to start with the Carl first, since that's and go ahead and do Carl and the principal first?
Yeah, let's do it.
So go ahead.
For Carl, one of my recent favorites. I've seen him in other stuff, but I just didn't realize how good he was. I got Sam Rockwell as Carl the janitor, bringing in cool vibe. He's got like a main scene over there. I think he could pull it off. You're not just throwing somebody random in there, kind of. Like I say, I got to have my boy Sam Rockwell representing the movie.
See, I love that casting decision, and I'd be fine with that. But to me, I like Sam Rockwell so much that I feel like this is a too small of a role for him to play. I have Tracy Letts in it as Carl, because for one, he's worked with Greta now several times. So I tried to look at her filmography and who she's worked with to try to grab some people from those to plug in there. And I just think every role that I've seen him in, he's pretty much nailed. He's usually a character act or the smaller like side character that he's playing, and he does a good job and everything. Like looking at Lady Bird, Little Women, Ford versus Ferrari, and other films as well, but all been really good. I think he can do drama, he can do mean, he can do comedy. I think he would do good as Carl.
Well, another reason I went with Sam Rockwell was kind of because of the age. I wanted somebody close to the age of the principal, but not as old, because in the opening credits of The Breakfast Club, you see a picture of Carl as younger, and he was Man of the Year at the high school. So he's not going to, I don't know, Tracy Letts is probably pushing 60.
Yeah.
So it depends on what the age of your principal. I mean, not that it matters, like if you want to switch that little detail. But that's one of the reasons I went with Sam Rockwell. Like he's, mid 40s, so he would be, close to twice of the age as what the kids would be, kind of.
That makes sense.
My principal, I already told you this, and you hated my decision. But I could just see it perfectly. I got Kevin Bacon coming in as the principal.
I just think Kevin Bacon's career is over.
Not after this. X-Men First Class put him back on the map.
That was 9 years ago, though.
Well, hey, we're coming back. We're coming back, man. I mean, he's done like little stuff that people don't watch, but that's not my problem that I've seen it.
So somebody watched that cop car movie.
I'll watch that movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've never had a problem with Kevin Bacon. Like I love his older stuff, like I say, but I think he was amazing in First Class. And I would like to see like this kind of, I guess if you want to say villain of the movie for Breakfast Club, like I think he could pull off that douchey principal.
Yeah.
Who thinks he has more power than he actually does. And I actually think he's like the assistant principal, so not even that much.
Really?
Power. Not even that much. I think he's the assistant principal. I'm gonna look it up while you talk about yours, but I think he is the assistant principal.
That's very interesting because I did not know that.
Richard Vernon.
I mean, I can see it, him playing it, and it's not a bad decision. I can see it. My choice is not actually going to be Richard Vernon. I'm not sure what the first name would be, but keep the last name Vernon because I'm changing the gender here. Okay. My principal is Laura Dern.
About to win another Oscar.
Yeah, about to win another one. Laura Dern is a solid actress. Like most performances that I've seen from her that I can think of have been solid. She's done everything that she's supposed to do. They've been good. I don't think she should have won for Marriage Story, but she did a good job in the film. I love her performance in, as well as most of the cast in there, Big Little Lies. And you take something like that where she's, just this really bitchy character, switch that around a little bit and like give her this principal. Did you figure it out? Is it principal? Is it assistant principal?
It is assistant principal, Richard Vernon.
That's a little bit different to me, but
well, it just throws in that more vibe, like you have even less power.
Yeah.
Like you're the one that's stuck here on Saturday detention because you're not the principal.
but you give her this role and this power role, and she's worked with Gerwig before in Little Women. Seeing her with these kids and seeing the dynamic between them two, I feel like would be awesome. Because I think she could deliver some comedic moments that when that needs to happen, but also the intense, the dramatic moments between the characters. I think she would do really well here.
Well, I mean, and if you flip the role too, now that she's the assistant principal, you could throw in, some kind of societal background about her getting passed over, maybe.
Yeah.
Because like there's some emotional scenes with him or Richard Vernon and Carl in the basement. So you can mention that in if you put in a female character.
Definitely.
So that could work, but she's no Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. He was the one who was the lead in Footloose, so.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to do next?
Do you want to do Brian?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Who do you got?
For Brian Johnson, I have Will Poulter.
Oh, okay. He was going to be up there for me for The Criminal, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
but I went deeper. I yeah, I mean, I can see Will Poulter.
I think he's a solid actor. Like, I mean, I've seen him in several different things now. Thought he was hilarious in We're the Millers.
Yeah.
But I also really liked him. I didn't love the film, but I did like some parts of it. Midsummer, like I thought he was hilarious in that. When he was, doing the tripping on the mushrooms, and
Yeah.
thought that was really good. So I definitely think he could deliver the comedic moments here. But I could also just see him in the role, like exactly the way the film was, and like playing that character. Thought he would do a good job.
Well, for me, for like the criminal, I was looking at like his performance in Detroit.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, you could pull. I mean, you would have to rein it back in a little bit for as far as what you're doing, but I mean, I could see him as either the brain, the criminal, or the athlete. Honestly, any of those three. But for mine, you would have to switch it up because I went with Taylor Russell for the brain, who was in Waves. She was the sister.
Okay.
She was also in Escape Room.
I actually have somebody from Waves on here as well, so we're gonna get to that.
Is it Sterling K. Brown?
No.
Put him as one of the kids. But yeah, I put her in there. I really liked her in Waves.
She was I was my favorite part of the movie. Yeah. I wish that film would have been just about her character.
Yeah.
But
I could see her like in this role. Most of my people besides her are kind of pretty much well known at this point. But like she's one that you could be a breakout role from this movie. If you remade it, maybe somebody hadn't watched Waves or Escape Room. But yeah, I switched her role up.
Okay.
Hope it works out for her.
Hope so. All right. Next we got Allison Reynolds here.
Yes. Basket case.
I have Zendaya.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking you would have Zendaya, and then I thought you might have Tom Holland for the athlete.
I don't have Tom Holland.
No.
I was thinking about him in general for the list because I was thinking of people around these ages, but I was like I can't have I don't want to have both of them on the list.
Yeah, that was some of mine. I was like, I would like to see these two in the movie, but I don't want to see them just to get stuck together again in something.
Right.
But I think I already told you I went with Thomasin McKenzie.
Yeah.
Her in the basket case. One of the best recent actresses to come out of the last decade. Snubbed 2 times for Oscars. Whether you agree or not, this is the facts I'm spitting out here.
I believe she deserved nominations both times.
Well, you can't always be right. But I could just see her with the character she played in Leave No Trace and Jojo Rabbit, kind of a loner, like a social outcast. I could see her as the person who didn't have anything better to do on a Saturday than come to detention. And like I say, I think that character's kind of underused in the original movie anyway. So I like to see her.
Definitely. I think if they're, in a remake here, I feel like they should definitely dive more into each character, but especially like her, get more screen time.
Like I say, I mean, like you could make it a little longer, but like you said, if it was a miniseries, but that would be another thing that wouldn't happen, I think, in a remake, or if this was a brand new movie, you wouldn't have her makeover at the end. I think that would.
No, I don't think so.
That would definitely be shunned by a lot of people. But I could see her pulling off this role easily.
I would say the same with Zendaya. I mean, her version of MJ is kind of like what you were describing. Nothing better to do on a Saturday than come to detention. Like looking at that film, looking at some other stuff. I know she has that show, which is an A24 show.
Euphoria.
Where she's also playing a high schooler. I think she would do a really good job here, and I think she would fit in with the chemistry of like the rest of the cast.
Yeah, I thought that was who you might choose. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but it's like as soon as you told me this, like she was the first person that came to mind for that role. Thomasin McKenzie.
Not a bad choice.
All right, who you got next?
So for Andrew Clark.
Yep, I'm gonna surprise you with this one.
I have, and this is where I go back to Waves. I have, and what I didn't like this part of the film, but I have Kelvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
As Andrew Clark. He obviously plays a jock in Waves, so we know he can do the physicality of that character. You can see him in the role. And despite me not liking that part of the film because of the direction they were taking it and the decisions his character made, I did think he gave a good performance of what he was supposed to do in the film.
Yeah.
So I could see him playing the character of Andrew.
Yeah, I could see it. Like I say, I'm gonna surprise you with mine. I think. For Andrew, I went with Nick Robinson.
Okay.
Yeah.
That surprised me a little bit.
Yeah. Like I say, Love Simon, The Kings of Summer. Both of them I really enjoyed. Love Simon, like he didn't play the character like of a jock, but I mean I could see it, like the way he carried himself, like some of the clothes they had him in. I could see him, rocking a Letterman jacket.
Jurassic World.
Yeah. But like I say, he was one I was looking through. Like I looked up like younger actors to try to get the ages somewhat close together. But yeah, I think he would be a good addition to this cast. I think Bo Burnham might bring the best out of him as far as this role, especially like the big emotional scene with him and his father, the relationship you get when they're all in the circle. I think he could really pull that part off with the stuff I've seen. But I mean, so could your choice. So I guess we'll see which one beats at the box office.
The next one we're going to talk about is Claire Standish.
Yep.
And my choice, and I'm wondering if you have her in here, but my choice for Claire is Florence Pugh.
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. I have Florence Pugh as Claire. Florence Pugh can do no wrong.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet. She is an incredible actress. So I mean, there was like several characters in here that I mean, she could play anybody in this film, and I have the kids.
I told you I can see her as the criminal more, but then you told me who you were thinking of. I don't know if it's changed yet. But yeah, I mean, so far she's done nothing to show me she couldn't do any one of these characters, like you said. I mean, you throw her in there as Carl the janitor, and I believe it. Yeah, I believe you were, in high school before these kids, and now you're a janitor. I could see it. But no, like I say, I think my Claire and John, I think I might surprise you a little bit, especially Claire. I went with Elle Fanning.
Okay.
Because she is, to me, the better Fanning sister as far as an actress.
That's a whole different I mean, I think I would still lean more towards Dakota, but I feel like Elle has the better filmography so far than Dakota. In the long run.
Yeah.
But, Dakota was also Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was in a Tarantino film.
That should have been Elle Fanning. That could have been her. Well, that movie had Lena Dunham, too, so all the casting choices weren't perfect. But I was just thinking, she's got the right look of someone who, could be like a preppy character. Obviously, like for this role, you're kind of typecasting as someone attractive. But then, like, see, with her performances, like especially like Super 8, The Vanishing of Sydney Hall,
The Neon Demon, underrated movie.
Still haven't watched it.
You gotta go watch it, man.
Still haven't watched it. But especially The Vanishing of Sydney Hall, like I really like Logan Lerman. Obviously, was the best part of the movie.
Kyle Chandler.
Yeah, Kyle Chandler. Even
the guy from Edge of 17, and Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
Trying to think of his name.
Blake Jenner.
Yeah, Blake Jenner.
Everybody wants some. But then even like the small roles, you had like the guy from Oh Brother Where Art Thou? He was the one that made the wooden piece or whatever. Like I liked his one scene.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Yeah. But like I say, I thought she was really good in her emotional scenes. And like I say, she's one where I haven't been let down yet. So I could see her, being another addition. Because I didn't want anybody like any, I guess, huge names in this movie. Because even back when this came out, these people were just getting popular, kind of.
Well, it's kind of the same thing with Florence Pugh here.
Yeah. Like I was.
If the movie came out now, because like Pretty in Pink came out the year before Breakfast Club. Right, it was the year after.
16 Candles came out.
Okay. So yeah.
Molly Ringwald kind of got started with even Anthony Michael Hall. But yeah, I mean, like Kevin Bacon, Sam Rockwell, people. I mean, obviously people would know Kevin Bacon. Sam Rockwell, I hope they know who he is now. But even these others, like their names, people would recognize if you saw them, but some of them you might not know. Like people like, oh, Taylor Russell, like no, I don't know her. Like, oh well, yeah, she was in Escape Room and Waves. But yeah, I think Elle Fanning would fit into my character list quite well.
I can see it.
I hope you can see it.
So the last one is Bender. Yeah. So for my version of Bender, I'm very much changing things up here. Not only, I'm changing the gender of Bender, so it's going to be ultimately a lesbian relationship at the end of the film between Bender and Claire. But I am casting Saoirse Ronan as my version of Bender. Both her and Pugh have worked together before under Greta Gerwig, and so like we know they can deliver good performances from this director, good performances together, especially Saoirse Ronan as far as Greta goes, because she's worked with her twice already. So like as the lead of this film, because I feel like Bender is, if you had to pick a main character from the Breakfast Club, I would consider him the main character in the original. So having her as the main character in this one would fit perfectly, I think. And I can just see her playing that character. I can see her going back and forth with Laura Dern, the principal. I can see the comedic moments from her, the dramatic moments, the retelling of stories from her home.
Yeah. Which would be another thing you could do with like society, like abusive relationship with parents. You could switch it up if you don't want to keep her dad be the one that abused her, maybe her mom, and maybe it was more mentally. But yeah, I can see it because especially after that French Dispatch trailer, the way she looked in that, I could definitely see her pulling off that character.
You can also bring in the fact that her character is a lesbian. Add that to her character arc as well.
Yeah. Well, you add that to Claire too, unless one of them was already known.
I'm not sure about the Claire one. I don't think I would have that one be known. I feel like that'd be something that we discover throughout the film, and the Bender one is something that's already known.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it. I mean, she's just like Florence Pugh. I haven't seen any bad performances yet. I mean, she's been nominated for Oscar 3 times.
Saoirse?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lady Bird, Brooklyn, and Little Women.
Maybe 4. Was she not nominated for Pride and Prejudice too?
Was she in that movie?
I thought there was something before.
Keira Knight, I thought.
Well, yeah, she was in it, but I thought she was nominated.
Oh, no, you're talking about Lovely Bones.
I'm not talking about Lovely Bones.
Well, she was nominated for that, wasn't she?
Maybe Atonement? Is that what I'm thinking of? They're all the same movie.
I don't know.
Atonement. It was Atonement with Keira Knightley. Like, I knew she was in something. But still, I mean, she's been nominated 4 times in a pretty short career. So, like I said, I've not seen anything bad from her yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I especially, like I say, with the back and forth she had with Florence Pugh in Little Women, I could see the relationship. Especially, like, just thinking of some of the scenes. Like when they're, Bender's ripping up the book. And he's like, oh, just ignore him. He's like, oh, he couldn't ignore me if he tried. I can see her pulling off 5. But I can see you switching those two, and I'd still be fine with it. With Bender and Claire and yours.
I would be fine with that too, but it's just harder for me to picture Saoirse Ronan playing Claire.
Either way, it don't matter to me.
Because I haven't seen. I mean, I don't know if I've seen her play like that type of character before.
Oh, now you will.
Now I will. I'd be fine with it. You know.
Yeah, but I could see that, back and forth with them two going real easy.
Yeah.
But for mine, this is probably the best known actor of the main 5 people. For John Bender, I went with Lucas Hedges.
Okay. Another person from Waves. They really got in our list here.
Yeah. This is going to be produced by A24. I don't know if I said that. You got the director.
Definitely. Either one. We got.
You got the director. Taylor Russell, Elle Fanning, Lucas Hedges, Sam Rockwell too. He was in Laggies, A24 movie. Leave No Trace. That was Amazon. Right?
Yeah.
Either way, Thomas and Mackenzie will be in an A24 movie sometime. It's going to happen. But Lucas Hedges, the main thing that threw this for me was his performance in Honey Boy. Like very troubled youth, which obviously was based on Shia's life. And Shia was almost my Carl the janitor if he had been older.
Oh man.
Yeah, he almost made it. Like if he was older, and I might just switch it up later and be like, I don't care how old you are. But yeah, Lucas Hedges' performance in Honey Boy.
You're kind of making me want to change my version of Carl now and make that Shia because I love that. I'm just imagining it now.
He was my first choice, and I looked it up. I'm like, man, I don't think you look old enough.
I also want him to have the same like whatever ponytail type thing he had in American Honey, or was it?
The rat tail.
Yeah, whatever that was. Give him that as Carl the janitor.
But he was my first choice. I'm like, man, if you were a little bit older, this would, you would obviously make the cut for Carl. But yeah, like Lucas Hedges and Honey Boy, and even the brother he played in mid-90s, like how aggressive he was in that. And like I say, A24 is producing my movie, distributing it, so obviously they're gonna reach out to Lucas Hedges.
Honestly, I looked at Lucas Hedges for a couple different roles. I looked at him for Bender. I thought about him for that. I also thought about him for Andrew.
Yeah.
I thought really he's a good actor. I could see him playing either character really. Yeah.
But it was those two performances that locked him in for that character. And I would like to see what he does, like if he was in that role, like across from Elle Fanning, to see what their back and forth would be. Because I told you originally Logan Lerman was going to be in my brain, but then I was like, man, he'll be pushing 32, 33.
Yeah.
If we make it right now. Now, if you're talking, nearly 10 years ago, he's.
Man, if you're talking 10 years ago, I'd get Shia in here and play.
He's the criminal.
Yeah, exactly.
10 years ago. Kristen Stewart's my basket case. Like I say, Logan Lerman's.
Let's also throw in though Robert Pattinson could have played a great criminal as well.
He's no Shia. He wishes he was Shia right now. Maybe after the Batman he can play the criminal, but right now he's the athlete at best.
Pattinson?
Yes.
No.
I can see it.
I don't know.
You can't see it. Like right. Like if you're making this 10 years ago, you got Twilight vibes. The way he looks, pretty boy, and he's a wrestler.
See, but he's not really like. Well, I mean, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, even Emilio Estevez, he wasn't ripped.
I can see a studio trying to go after Taylor Lautner to play the job.
I would burn that studio to the ground. This movie wouldn't have to worry about getting made because it's not going to be an option. That is not happening. But I mean, Kristen Stewart's, she's obviously Allison Reynolds 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you're getting Jesse Eisenberg as Brian Johnson, though. Not my choice, but it's going to happen.
Or Michael Cera.
Oh, please. Just let it happen. Let Michael Cera be the criminal. But yeah, Lucas Hedges, but Shia almost made it. If he was a little bit older, or I mean, you could put him in the same outfit as Honey Boy. He could look like that and just push around the trash can. I can see it. This is his renaissance, man. He's coming back.
Yeah. But yeah, that's our version of Breakfast Club. That's our What If recasting. We'll be doing this weekly, bringing you guys new What If episodes. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe.